Hello and welcome to Cox Local Edition on HLN. I'm Catherine Falk with Cox Communications. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so honored to have Congressman Frank Wolf join us. Thank you for being here.
Good to be with you.
And tell us about your district.
Well, the district runs from McLean out all the way through Leesburg, out into the Shenandoah Valley, out to Winchester to the West Virginia line.
And the 10th district that you serve, you've been serving now, this is your 15th term.
Right, since 1980.
Oh, wow, that's tremendous. So now you're the most senior among the Virginia delegation, which is tremendous.
Right.
That's great. I know that one of the issues that we wanted to talk to you about was job creation. Such an important issue, and you've really been a leader in putting together a package on job creation. We're really excited to hear more about that.
Well, we have to create the jobs in America, and this language is now in my appropriation bill, which has been out of the full committee and coming to the floor. We set up a mechanism to repatriate, to bring jobs back from China and Mexico and other places. One, to help localities to bring them back. Secondly, to urge the states to develop a tax code whereby they'll give breaks to American companies, not foreign companies, American companies to bring them back. iPad, iPod, all made in China. Time to come home to bring them back. And at the federal level, to restructure and change the tax code to incentivize these companies to come back. GE created a lot of jobs last year, but they weren't in America. They were in China. There were other places like that. Many of the companies who have gone to Mexico now have to hire armed guards to go down and visit their plants. If they're kidnapped, they're not going to call the Mexican Federales. They're going to call the FBI. Those jobs have to begin now to come home. So we give opportunities at state level, local level, and at the federal level to incentivize. These are all jobs that are being done. We just think it's time to come back home.
So how do we repatriate jobs? What kind of incentives will work for these companies?
Well, tax incentives, number one, at the state level, tax incentives at the federal level. And thirdly, we're also given EDA grants. We're cutting the EDA program, but we're restructuring it so that any loans that they make can go to localities that are ready to bring a major factory or a major operation back. They could use it for water and sewer or something like that. Everything you're doing is geared to jobs. That's the number one issue. We have 9.2% unemployment. Some people are concerned it's going to go up even higher. We have millions of people who are underemployed. They're working, but they're underemployed. A great nation needs to manufacture. A great nation needs to make things. And so we're doing everything we can to take jobs that are currently in China, currently in Mexico, currently in other places, to return them back to the United States. GE should be here and not in China. Apple should be making the iPod, the iPad here in the United States, not in China.
That's great, and I know a lot of this is really made possible because of your role on the House Appropriations Committee.
Right. We put this language in the appropriation bill, which has been reported out of my subcommittee, now out of the full committee and coming to the floor.
That's great. And I know a couple other pieces of that are increasing U.S. exports and doing some work on the federal tax code.
Right. We want to increase the export, give the government the ability, so we make things here, to sell it abroad. I mean, the American embassies abroad ought to be aggressively promoting American projects. And right now, they're really not, because very few companies are actually exporting around the world. Most just have the market in the Mid-Atlantic, market in California. They got to start thinking globally. We have to compete abroad and sell what we make here abroad.
Congressman Wolf, I know we're going to put up your website as well, and you love to hear from your constituents there about what issues are important to them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us on Cox Local Edition. And thank you for joining us on Cox Local Edition. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And have a great day.